2024 was a big year, wasn't it? This was a huge year for the world of animation, with several amazing movies released.
Sonic, you finally found your family.
But tell me this, do you know which animated movie was the best of 2024?
I found this.
It's an ancient island.
Well, if you don't, you're about to find out. And how about we start with the animated Garfield movie, featuring that orange cat who loves lasagna and hates Mondays. The new film starring this iconic character was released in May 2024. One of the most surprising things about it is that Garfield is voiced by Chris Pratt, who also played the main character in Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World. The story takes a different approach compared to the classic cartoons. It explores Garfield's origins, showing that he was abandoned by his father as a baby, long before he was taken in by John. After all these years, his father, a thief named Vic, returns, and the two are forced to pull off a heist together. Who would have thought Garfield would have such an adventure? The movie deserves high marks for its originality. Beyond that, it's genuinely funny and entertaining. It's also fascinating to see Garfield develop his relationship with his father. At first, he hates him, but by the film's climax, an epic battle atop a train against Vic's former colleague, they've become great friends. Despite being a spectacular animation, it ranks only as the 8th best animated movie of 2024, because the next ones are even more fantastic, as hard as that is to believe. So get on board. This is the start of another Cinewave. Released by Netflix in November 2024, Spellbound, as the name suggests, is packed with magic and tells the story of Elian, the princess of the magical kingdom of Lumbria. And like any great movie, it comes with a conflict. The young princess must solve a tiny problem, breaking the spell that turned her parents, the king and queen, into two monsters. To fix this, the princess and her parents must embark on an extraordinary magical journey. While the movie is filled with humor and fun moments, Spellbound also delves into a deep topic: separation. On top of that, the animation quality is superb, and the designs of the cities and landscapes are breathtaking. This movie has everything: humor, heartfelt moments, serious themes, and a cast of endearing characters. If you're looking for a memorable animated film to brighten your afternoon, this one is a fantastic choice. Isn't it incredible to think that Illumination released the first Despicable Me movie way back in 2010? 14 years later, the studio has grown into one of the giants of animation, and the Despicable Me franchise has expanded with its 4th film. Released on July 3rd, 2024, this new adventure follows Gru and his family as they enter a witness protection program, pretending to be regular people. Why? Because Maxime Le Mal, Gru's rival from his school days, is out for revenge. As with every installment in this saga, the film introduces new concepts and characters to spice up Gru's not-so-villainous life. For instance, Gru's son with Lucy? He's practically his dad's twin, isn't he? Another standout new character is Poppy, a superfan of Gru and aspiring villain. She blackmails him into returning to his criminal roots, but eventually switches sides to help him. And trust me, he needs all the help he can get to defeat Maxime Le Mal, especially when Maxime kidnaps Gru's son, forcing Gru and his friends to abandon their disguises and confront the antagonist head-on. And let's not forget one of the franchise's most unforgettable moments: the minions gaining superpowers and becoming superheroes. Of course, they're as clumsy as ever, often causing more chaos than they solve. Like all the movies in the series, Despicable Me 4 is wildly entertaining and leaves us eagerly anticipating Despicable Me 5 or Minions 3. One common complaint among fans is that Gru's daughters didn't get as much screen time compared to earlier films. However, the new characters help make up for this shortfall. This is the main reason the movie doesn't rank higher on the list, but it's certainly not bad, not in the slightest. What's your opinion? Feel free to share it in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to comment #Minions as a tribute to Gru's banana-loving minions. Unlike the other Transformers movies that show Optimus Prime at his peak, this year's animated film is a prequel. Here, we get to see how Optimus Prime and Megatron became the hero and villain we know so well. The two were once close friends, but over the course of the story, Megatron transitions from a genuinely likable guy to a full-fledged tyrant. This film also showcases the moment when the characters gain their iconic ability to transform into vehicles, a hallmark of the Transformers franchise. With incredible animation, uniquely crafted action sequences, and a sense of humor that's bound to make anyone smile, Transformers 1 solidifies itself as one of the best animated movies of the year. Many Transformers fans believe this is the franchise's best film yet. Could this be a sign that the saga should explore more animated installments? Wild Robot might be one of the biggest surprises of the year. Nobody expected much from it, especially since it's a completely original movie, but it turned out to be fantastic. DreamWorks has an incredible knack for swinging between silly movies like The Boss Baby and truly extraordinary ones like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Wild Robot undoubtedly falls into the extraordinary category. Based on a book series by author Peter Brown, the film follows a robot named Roz. She accidentally ends up on a deserted island and begins caring for a baby goose. Throughout her time in this entirely unfamiliar environment, Roz meets various animals who at first are selfish and distrustful. Even though it's about a giant robot, the story focuses deeply on character relationships. Somehow, it manages to make viewers absolutely adore every animal with a significant role in the plot. While many of the animals seem mean at first, they all grow to become Roz's great friends over time, revealing themselves to be far more complex than initially thought. How about we kick off the top 3 with a bang? For years, Moana seemed like one of those Disney movies destined to remain a one-off hit despite its success. Thankfully, we were completely wrong. As part of Disney's strategy to create sequels for nearly all its successful movies, Moana 2 became a massive box office success. This time, the story focuses on Moana assembling a lively crew of new characters to break a curse cast by a vengeful god, which prevents humanity from uniting. The movie significantly expands the universe of the fearless navigator. Along with Moana's crew, we're introduced to new villains, including the primary antagonist, Nalo, the evil god of storms who created the curse Moana is trying to break. And we can't forget Matangi, a demigoddess forced to serve Nalo, who performs one of the film's best songs. Old favorites like Maui and Moana's animal companions also return. Even Pua gets more time in the spotlight as he joins Moana on her new voyage. The most jaw-dropping twist? The movie dared to do something wild that many believed would never go beyond fan theories. Moana dies at the end of the film, only to return as a demigoddess. With new characters, fresh songs, and plenty of action, Moana 2 is everything fans of the Motunui Princess hope for. However, the downside is that it's shorter than the original, leaving everyone wanting more. Fortunately, the post-credit scene makes it clear Moana 3 is on its way soon. Now, let's dive into our top 2. But before that, why not subscribe to our channel? That way you'll never miss our daily videos about your favorite animated movies. Deal? The third chapter of Sonic's cinematic adventures premiered on Christmas 2024, delivering a story even better than what we saw in Sonic 2, and that was already one of the best video game movies. Now, before you say the Sonic films are live action, you're technically right, but the main characters are entirely animated and fully cartoonish. This movie introduces Shadow, a darker, more emotionally scarred version of Sonic, as its antagonist, creating a much more dramatic and compelling story thanks to the villain's backstory. Shadow wants to destroy the world after losing his best friend Maria in a tragic event. Despite the heavier tone, humor wasn't left behind. Comedian Jim Carrey returns, not only as Robotnik, but also as his grandfather, and the scenes with both characters are hilariously entertaining. All the battles in the movie are incredible, but nothing tops the epic fight between Super Sonic and Super Shadow at the end. The most touching moment of the saga follows immediately afterward as Sonic persuades Shadow to change sides and honor Maria's legacy. By staying true to the games, showcasing jaw-dropping action scenes, and perfectly balancing slapstick humor with heart-wrenching drama, Sonic 3 undeniably deserves its spot on this list. Now, it's time to talk about the best animated movie of 2024. There's no other film it could be, but Inside Out 2. This movie was an unexpected hit that took everyone by surprise. Sure, the first Inside Out was fantastic and very successful, but no one anticipated that its sequel, released on June 20th, 2024, would become the highest-grossing animated film of all time. And it fully deserves that title because its story is absolutely phenomenal. Riley is now a preteen, which means she's developed new, more unstable emotions: anxiety, embarrassment, envy, and boredom. Navigating pre-adolescence with these new emotions is a real challenge, especially when anxiety decides to kick Joy and her friends out, taking control of Riley entirely. Like the first movie, Inside Out 2 masterfully blends psychology with creative humor, such as introducing Riley's dark secrets as actual characters, and explores the challenges of growing up. It also highlights the importance of anxiety, as Joy ultimately shows the new emotion that it can be helpful for Riley when balanced properly. We've left 2 fun videos on your screen. Want to keep having a good time? Just click on one of them. Thanks, and see you next time.